Why did I watch that?
The font's nice.
It made me.
Question is, why not?
We can discuss that.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Greetings and salutations, my wonderful freaks. I am your Uncle Necro, and I welcome you back to the Tomb of the Terrible. And tonight, we bring you Deep Hurting. Deep Hurting.
Emotional damage.
Because for tonight, we have watched the movie Prey. Now, I know what everybody's thinking. Prey? You mean that movie that came out a couple of years ago that was in the Predators franchise? Nay. This is something worse, something diabolical, something that will keep you awake at night, wondering what monster would make a movie like this and foist it upon the public. Tonight we are watching Pray, period. Possibly the very first Christian slasher movie ever made. And if you think that's a terrible premise, you are right. So, show of hands, how many people hate me now for making you watch this?
I don't hate you.
I don't hate you. I hate the movie.
But I question your sanity.
Well, I've questioned my sanity since I was 9 years old, and so is my psychiatrist. Yeah, 9 out of 10 psychiatrists would agree. 10th one is dead.
You made him watch the movie.
Pretty much. So let's get this.
Pretty much.
Let's get the description out of the way. High school friends Madison and Lacey enjoy an out-of-town Christian rock concert. After some eerie events at their hotel, the friends abandon their night of rest and decide to drive through the night back to their hometown several hours away. However, someone or something follows them home. After a seemingly uneventful school day, events unfold that find Madison Preston alone at the mall. They spelled it along at the mall. Later that evening. As the night rolls on, the mall closes and we find our heroine mysteriously trapped inside. However, she is not alone. It will take her resolute strength and unflinching faith and a few shocking miracles along the way for her to escape.
Also known as plot armor.
Yes. So, I've seen this so many times.
Why?
Mainly because the first time I saw it, I thought, I need to torture other people with this. And so I started making the rounds. This is long before doing the tomb. I started visiting friends and saying, hey, you got Amazon? Let's watch the movie Prey. It's only an hour. And that is probably the longest hour you will ever spend. Now, mind you, Prey is relatively the same length as Thanksgiving, but there's a big difference between the two. But we're going to get opening shots at this here, starting with Dell.
Okay, I'm going to give you the brief synopsis of what happens in this movie. Kids are at a Christian rock concert. They leave. They've been staying at a hotel. When they get to the after party at their little gathering area in the hotel, they're excited because one person got a CD signed and one of the guys got a guitar given to him by the band. And so then they decide they have to get home and get some sleep early for Spirit Week. And at the very beginning, the two girls are in the gas station and they pay for somebody ahead of them in line, this little girl, to get her goldfish crackers. And you see a tattoo on the wrist of the gas station attendant. From this point on, you see the gas station attendant, who we assume is the gas station attendant, from his eyes, which makes it really hard for an epileptic to watch this movie, by the way, because there's a lot of this camera walking around and panning everywhere. And anyway, so he kidnaps this woman, we assume, based on the things that happen. As far as this being a slasher movie, there is absolutely no on-screen violence whatsoever, except a punch. They start following this girl around for some reason. And when she ends up trapped, it's oh, I was shopping and I couldn't find anything, and the store is closed. And he said, you named the store the wrong thing. She has a show on at the very beginning, which also, if you're filming something, don't film a television that's on if it's going to keep flickering while you're doing it, because you don't have a quality camera to do this right. And tells her to pray. And so when she's being trapped in this mall, she is praying to God to find her a way out. So she is allowed a way out. She runs away, gets to her car. Jesus, please help my car start. And it does. And then she gets home and her family is happy that she's home and safe again. And they're going to work on her car because they don't want anything bad to happen. And I'm totally spoiling this for you guys because you have to know so that you don't force yourself to watch it. The dad gets out and lifts up the hood of the car and yells at his wife because she has to come and see it. And there's no engine in the car. And that's the fucking end of the movie. So she is, no resolution on the people who've been kidnapped. They apparently don't report to the police that she's been chased around. And I don't want to know about part 2. But yeah, but the whole
part 3 ending
of the show. How the fuck did her car not have an engine? She drove to the mall. It had an engine.
Okay.
Did the fucking
guy?
Better
question is,
did the stalker take out her car engine and then chase her around the mall?
Better question is, how did he take the engine out? Because have you tried to take an engine block out? You don't just open it up and go boop and carry it off. It's not like brain surgery where you just take out the brain just like that. You need special. Right. Mm-hmm. I'm judging you. So while she's in the mall, he just inconspicuously just wheels over the machinery needed to take out the engine block, and then wheels it off in time.
Oh. Yeah.
Pyle, is your migraine coming back yet?
I just got rid of it, and honestly, when I got on here right before the show, UncleNecRo looks at me and goes, "Did you watch the movie? Did you? And I'm thinking, yes, I did. I don't know why. Seriously, I don't know why. But
because we wanted to.
No, you're absolutely right. And the killer that has not killed a single person throughout the whole movie has a chain and he's coming up to the car. The car starts magically, and then all of a sudden there's no engine. Well, you know what? At no point did that mall have security. No point. There was a cranky woman that was in the store when she was shopping. I mean, the main character was rolling her eyes constantly throughout the movie, and it was total typical teenager. It was all through this movie, but it just you find a door, you go and you're in this door, and the person's mask was plastic, and it looked like, hey, I just picked this up at Walmart for 50% off, and it's right before the season. That's how bad of a mask this is. And yeah, so
Did you
me
notice
having a migraine earlier today and then going back into this, yes, Ron, my migraine might be coming back if I have to watch that movie ever again.
Did anybody notice that in the credits that monster guy is listed as the Shape? So
Seriously?
That man was
fuck
not
that.
in shape at all.
no.
Oh man.
That
was not.
angers me.
First,
Yes,
I want to
do.
I want to go ahead and spoil the 2 sequels that they made after this. One, yes, the lady that was kidnapped does feature in part 2, The Woods. The subtitle, The Woods. So it's Prey to the Woods, I guess. But spoiler, she escapes because he's lame. And the third one, the Shape invades a house where two girls are babysitting a couple of kids, and he's knocked out pretty much almost immediately and spends most of the movie unconscious as they're running around. And then he gets up and walks around.
I'd like to point out, for if anybody's watching or listening that is unfamiliar with why the Shape is important, because that is how they refer to Michael Myers' character in Halloween. He doesn't necessarily have a name. He's known as the Shape.
Yes. You're
They tread on that sacred.
Mm-hmm.
But before we go any further, there are a few things I wanted to point out. And yes,
As he holds
I
up a
took
giant
notes.
notebook of notes.
unfurl.
Dude, that's pretty much the script right there.
Scroll.
So first of all, within the first 5 minutes, we start with a based on true events. Then not only is there written text from the dictionary defining the word miracle, but there's also a voiceover reading said text for us because apparently they just didn't think our collective intelligence was up to snuff. Ow. And then we have the whole 48 hours earlier kind of flashback. Then we're besetted by bad CCM rock, and then stock footage of some sort of concert. Then the kids leave, and quite frankly, that is not the front entrance of a place where they have musical events. It looked like the back area of a shop that or a mall that was after hours. So it was like, let's use this and just walk out the door. That's when you see the kid with the guitar, and I'm thinking, oh God, flashbacks to the 90s. But that happened a lot. Then we have what got me though are the scary stinger sounds that happen in the most innocuous of places, like, oh, I forgot the juice in the van, I better go get it. She opens up the van door, bum bum bum, oh, the juice, tra la 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 la. She deserved to be kidnapped. Del, you had something to add?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that back area. To be fair, they did have the VIP passes and went backstage and were talking with the band. So it might have been the back exit from whatever they were at, because I've had backstage before and you do leave through the back because it's a pain in the ass to walk all the way back up through the front again. So
I would hazard to say that's okay, but where were the trucks, the equipment trucks? Where were the
Yeah.
roadies that were unloading equipment and packing stuff up? Where were the crew people? Why was it so empty?
they were off camera. They couldn't afford
If
all
I
those
had to
things.
I get it.
guess, since this was a Christian production, my guess is that was probably outside their church.
Yes. And my guess is when they were in the motel, she flips on the TV and suddenly it's the sermon from some guy. You can tell it's probably the church that foot the bill for this movie. Ed Wood style.
Mm-hmm.
Then the breaking news, because it was a slow news day. And that particular kidnapping is featured on there. And then she goes take a shower. And then what's funny is they try to go the whole, suspenseful route when she's trying to take a sleep, she's gone to sleep. And then you see like the shadow of the Shape walk into the room and just kind of stand there. And then suddenly there's a knock on the door, and I'm surprised there wasn't a whoop, 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 whoop. And what was that, at the back door that they were doing? Because I don't know. I thought that was the bathroom door that was open. She went,
No,
did you
it's
leave
the
that open?
bathroom door between motel rooms that maids use to go in between the rooms to clean.
Okay.
But
This movie
how
just
the
is
other
so
side
stupid.
was open.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Anyway,
Those doors are
Yeah.
usually locked, so I don't know how he would have gotten through the door without a key.
for the most part, I'm thinking that a lot of the dialogue was improvised on the spot. They didn't really have a script. They just had a general idea of what they wanted to do. So they described, okay, just talk like normal, Christian youth group kids do. And they did. Oh boy, they did. Oh, at one point, one of the girls, after one of the guys comes up and runs and grabs her from behind for a hug, very creepily. But, hey, like your ring. Yep, true love waits, baby. The antacid flashbacks are big. But, I mean, Jenny, Josh, you guys have been silent. What are your thoughts?
Yes. The best part of the movie was when it
was
ended,
over.
B, when that one guy got kicked in the jewel.
True.
When her
A, when
friend
it
got
ended.
kicked in the jewels for sneaking up on her. That's part of the movie.
Yes.
Because fuck that
I want
guy.
to know where she found the brick.
Were she what?
Where she found the brick in the mall when she was trapped
Yeah.
in the room, and he's like chasing her around. She punches him. Is all I. I thought she just punched him, and then he's like laid out. This huge guy, and a little girl gives him one punch to the face, and the creepy stalker, big bad evil guy gets just totally floored for like 10 minutes. He's out of it. Like she's able to crawl across him, then come back to him, steal his keys, and then leave again. And
Can we
Maybe
point
it was
out
other
how utterly mannequin that was when she punched him, and then the cut scene where he flails himself onto the floor?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, continue. I'm getting lost.
Well,
You were
Just like
it's
the whole
easy
movie,
to.
Lost.
Okay.
So many
which is
plot holes.
yeah, so many plot holes, so many questions, and yet, oh my gosh, it's just this movie is magic, simply because it's a little over an hour, but it feels like forever. Each and every time, no matter how many times I've seen this, it still seems to go forever. And this time around, just to refresh my memory, I watched it on YouTube where I can watch it at 1.5 speed. Still felt long.
Well, you watch it at 3 times speed.
Yeah, I know. It's just, oh my gosh.
You'll still be there forever.
Yeah.
Ever and ever and ever.
Personally, okay, for full confession, if you will. Yes, I'm being ensconced in this whole evangelical culture as long as I have. I can agree that this is very much spot on as far as what you would normally get as far as a genuine evangelical American Christian movie trying to break into, use the horror genre as an outreach, and it just fucking shows. It just, they shoehorn the sermon in there, the dialogue between the kids, especially in the diner scene, where between the girl and the guy, and he's just shoveling hamburgers into his face. But mind you, we're not mocking religion here. That's the last. It's something. I am a Christian myself. I'm not mocking religion. This is just a bad movie. A bad movie is a bad movie, and we're celebrating it. Well, I am anyway. I don't know about Ron. He seemed to have a lot to say about this earlier. Pyle?
So I do want to point out, yes, you're absolutely right. It is a bad movie. It is one of those that you just wonder what the heck. And to tell you how bad of a movie it is, the thought, the plot, and the circumstances do not mix together right in my eyes. I mean, you have these kids. Yes, this is a normal thing. Kids go to concerts. You have this staying at a hotel. Okay. They looked like they're pretty young to be staying at a hotel. And then here we are flipping into this girl ending up being in a mall by herself. The circumstances. And the question was, why didn't the staff really just, lead her to the door? Hey, that door's closed. Try this one. Here, I'll walk you to the door. Make sure that you get out safe. All of these aspects of what we know in actual life get thrown out the window with this. I mean, it is not a movie that is looking at you and saying, hey, this could be something and something, if you do this. No, that there's just the plausible on this fell apart. It's like the really rickety old bridge that no one ever wanted to cross, and it just fell in the river and went down the creek. I cannot believe it, cannot understand why they would make a second or a third one to this, and I hope that does not get put on the wheel. UncleNecRo, no.
Well, I only put the first one on because I'm not a monster. So,
I'm a realist. I
Yeah.
look at movies and I think of plausible. This is not plausible because the circumstances are not plausible. So it hurt my mental state. So emotional damage right here.
I completely understand. And if it wasn't for the fact that the makers of this movie were, I'll be honest, they seemed very completely earnest about the whole thing. Any other time, any other filmmaker, you would think, okay, this is pretty good satire of had this been a movie about, Christians trying to make a horror movie, would have been a great satire. As a matter of fact, I think this would have worked even better as a VeggieTales episode or an animated VeggieTales movie.
Where is my hairbrush? Where is my hairbrush?
He was stabbed to death by a hairbrush. Kept asking for a cheeseburger. But
oh my gosh, a VeggieTale. Dude, you are so right. That's how bad this movie is. You are absolutely right. It could be a VeggieTale, and it would make more sense.
Yes. See, the problem is this is taking so many tropes and so many urban legends as facts, because I believe they believe that the whole miraculously driving vehicle that didn't have an engine in there was based on a true story, which is easily, do a little bit of a Google search. You'll probably, debunk that within 10 minutes at the most. But yeah, this is a bad movie. But in a way, it's a very entertaining bad movie. The kind I wish to share with the ones I love, or at least the ones I tolerate. So, did we have anything else we wanted to add to this?
I want to hear Ron's rant.
I haven't given my take on this yet.
We were waiting.
I don't know if Josh and Jenny were done with their rant as well, so I don't know if they have anything left to add.
First, we want to hear yours.
Yes. It's all yours, buddy.
Before I get into my monologue, my soliloquy, so to speak, I'd like to point out that I'm still wearing the same shirt that I was for last night's podcast because I worked from home today and I did not change clothes. So yeah, just putting that out there in case anyone is wondering. Second, I want to reiterate what James said, that we are not mocking religion. Put that out there because it needs to be said. We are mocking bad filmmaking. That is precisely what Tomb of the Terrible is about. And this movie is a perfect example of bad filmmaking. I don't want to knock the creators of the movie, because if for them it was a passion project and they put a lot of time and effort into making it, then fine. But they marketed it wrong. Spoiler alert, for something that's marketed as a slasher movie, you need to have a slasher in the movie. Nothing happens. There's no violence whatsoever. There's no gore. There's no blood. There's not even anything implied that something happens. It's one cut shot to another with dramatic music to build up, and there's no payoff. That is not a slasher movie. Now, if they had marketed this movie as a PSA for Christian purposes, it would have been much better. Here's my take on how this movie got made. Believe it or not, I went to a Christian summer camp when I was in high school. I know. All right, you can save your comments for later, but I did. We would have Vespers in the morning, and then we would sit around a campfire at night, and people would tell stories, or they would pray, or they would sing, and the things that you do around a campfire when you're at a Christian camp. I suspect that this whole idea for a movie generated from sitting around a campfire and someone trying to attempt to tell an urban legend story, and the car had no engine. Hey, that's a good idea. You know, we should make something like that, make it into a movie to show at our church. So they did. And then they showed it at the church. And all the Christian people went, oh, that's so good. Oh, your acting was so good. Oh my gosh, that's so incredible. And they completely missed all of the giant gaping potholes that you could drive a car with no engine through. Our supposed shape, our would-be slasher that never actually slashed anything, was supposedly the gas station attendant, as identified by the tattoo that is on his wrist. We first encounter him as the gas station attendant when the girls are stopping to get gas before they head out to the concert. So what? Did he just leave his post at the gas station to follow them to this concert and then wait for them to leave to follow them back to their hotel? How many hours must that have been? Okay, so the car had no engine. I know that it takes several hours to remove an engine from a car, so I'm wondering if maybe that's the point at which he took the engine out. But if that were the case, then the car would not have started once they got out of the concert, but it did. The movie starts out with the definition of miracle, but you can completely forget that until it comes back around in the end when you find out that the car had no engine and they have to re-emphasize miracle. All this is possible through God. Okay, take that as you wish. I'm not even going to get started on the whole possibility of a car not running without an engine because it's a miracle. Okay, fine. It's supposed to be an urban legend story. I get it. I'm going to just leave it at that. But gaping plot holes. We get some kind of weird, pervy hotel manager, whatever, with these long, awkward pauses that seems like, is he going to do something to these girls? And they're just sitting there, just like waiting for him to say something. And then nothing happens. Oh, well, I'll get your bags. They had 2 duffel bags. They could have easily carried themselves. What was the point of calling the night manager to come in and get their bags when they had nothing to carry? I don't get it. And then she gives him her keys to take him out to the car. Maybe it was him that removed the engine. I don't know. But somehow they managed to make it home. All that aside, we never see the pervy hotel manager again. Okay, fine. We dodged the bullet, whatever. I don't know. What happened to the slasher? Did he follow them back? How far away is he from his gas station now? Did he just leave his post or what? I don't get it. And then we go through this whole montage of Spirit Day, yada, 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 because we need to fill camera time so we can make this an hour-long movie, because if you take all of that stuff out, the movie is actually only about 20 minutes long. So we got to have something to fill it. Might as well put some crap in there that nobody really cares about. Then we get into the diner scene where Homeboy is just down in the hamburgers and they're having this whole conversation about, you're so great, you're so awesome, blah, blah, blah. You should feel better about yourself, blah, blah, blah. And this is the one chance that they have a message, or they have a chance to spread the word of God, or get into the gospel, all that. Okay, that's fine. I can even live with that. But then we get to the damn mall scene. And I got to go with Pyle on this one, because I'm sorry, that is not how malls work. When she gets there, it's still light outside. And the next thing you know, it's after 9 o'clock. It's all dark. They start turning off the lights. Where was the announcement that, ladies and gentlemen, you need to exit the mall because we are now closing? You have 15 minutes to make your purchases and exit the mall. We will be closing the door in 5 minutes. Where's the security guards to come around and go, I'm sorry, miss, you need to make your purchases now. We're getting ready to close the doors. But no, she gets one crotchety store manager that, I don't know about you, but I worked in retail for a very long time. And that's not how that works. The store manager is going to be like, okay, here, let me help you get outside. Let me show you the way out. And, even if she takes her to the back door, she's going to leave it through the stock room or whatever, let her out the back and then lock the door behind her. That's how that's supposed to work. So what is going on And then she runs into a janitor, and janitor's like, "Oh, the exit's that way," and just randomly points. And then she goes off on another wild goose chase, trying to find the damn exit. And of course, this is when she comes into contact with the Shape, whatever this would-be slasher guy is supposed to be, because we have no background on him. There's no background story. He never says a word throughout the entire thing. We never actually even see his face. Could be anybody, could be anyone. Doesn't matter, because he doesn't do anything. He just stands there, being rather intimidating and dark and, looming and whatever, but he doesn't actually do anything. He didn't really even attack her. He just kind of stands there, looming over her. And she's like, okay, whatever. And she punches him in the face, clearly a mannequin. He dives on the floor. He's down for the count for like 10 minutes from an itty-bitty punch in the nose, which really would not knock anybody out. And I know this because I'm a martial artist. It takes a lot more pressure than that, especially if you're hitting somebody in the face. If anything, you're going to give him a bloody nose underneath the mask. Who cares? Whatever. Okay, so he's down for the count. She's still trying to find her way out. And that's when we get to the whole title of the movie, Pray. But it's not like, "Oh, Heavenly Father who art in heaven, please allow me your grace to find my way out of this situation." All she says is, "Please, God, let me get out of this alive." And that's it. That's pretty much sums it up right there. That's her prayer. Okay, fine. It works. It's still pray. And then, lo and behold, she makes it outside. But then, so does the Shape. I can't call him killer because we never know if he actually kills anybody. But Shape comes out too, starts attacking her in a car. She manages to drive off. She finally gets home. She tells her parents about the whole situation. And they're like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened to you. Have you been watching the news? You know that people have been disappearing, right? You're not going to report this to the cops or nothing? I mean, okay." Then that's when you find out the punchline, when the dad goes to the car and opens the hood and finds out that there's no engine. This whole movie was a 1-hour buildup for a stupid punchline for an urban legend, and that was it. I was like, you could have made this into a TikTok short. You could have made this into a YouTube reel, something like that. You could have done this entire movie in 5 minutes, and it would have been better. You could have at least had some kind of, off-screen death, or showed like an implication of blood or something, and it would have been better than what it was. But in my opinion, they missed the mark completely on this movie for what they were trying to accomplish. And for that, I'm jumping the gun here, James, but I'm giving this no stars whatsoever. I'm not even going to give this a rating because it wasn't even worth my time. And no, I'm not going to be recommending it to anybody because I really don't think anybody should be watching this movie. Thank you. End of rant.
Okay. Pyle, you had something to say there?
Okay, I do want to point out, I do think, and I'm trying to check on this as I say this, when she tries starting the car, I think the car tries making the car starting noise. I could be totally wrong, but I thought I remembered that part. But my comment I do want to make is that mall should have been shut down so long ago due to the fact of there was not a single fire exit she could get out of. All the doors were locked. That's not how malls operate. I don't care how old it is. That's not how malls operate. You have to have bars. You have to have a way out. And she should have been able to press on a bar and been able to get out. But yes. I'm still checking on the car starting thing as we are doing this interview here. Or this whatever.
Interview. So movie, what was your anyway? Del, you had something to point out there.
Oh yeah, they show that tattoo of the chain on the guy's wrist, and then at one point in the movie, does he pick up a chain when he is headed to her car that just happens to be there, big thick chain. But I don't think they even had to put on like a fake tattoo, because a lot of people have that tattoo because it's from the tattoo in the game BioShock, which it represents his DNA and how he's locked by his DNA or whatever for the game. And I was just like, okay. I mean, I found that out because I was looking up to see if there was some significance behind the chain tattoo, and I'm like, oh, it's from a video game. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I did not know that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So, Ron, I'm going to drop some knowledge into your head here.
It won't change my opinion.
I'm not going to try to change your opinion. I think you're spot on. But just in case, as I'm going to assume you're not going to watch the other two movies?
Nope.
Okay.
Not even tempted.
So, the grand total, all the movies combined, which when they're smooshed together, comes out to 90 minutes or so, because, yeah, they the Shape's body count is still 0. There's still no bloodshed. There's still no slasher. And by the middle of the third movie, I was finally screaming, "They're behind the kitchenette. Go kill them. You can do this. Come on." And
the
then
most
they
inept
ended,
slasher in a slasher movie ever.
right. And they had the audacity to end that movie, the third movie, with a cliffhanger teasing another sequel, which fortunately has not happened yet. And I'm praying that it doesn't. See what I did there? But okay. So I believe at this point we should go to the 5-star reviews, and there are 5-star reviews. Believe it or not. I shall
People that are friends of and family of those that worked on the film.
So just going through this again this should show you how exactly how masochistic I am, having to watch this several times, making myself watch this several times. The 5-star reviews from Angela, "I pray a whole lot now," several exclamation points after it. "Amazing movie. At first, I was a little hesitant. Some of my friends said it was a scary movie, but I think it's phenomenal. I hope the actors won Oscars because they sure deserved it. The monster in the movie was great. I don't know why he never runs, so mysterious. But I love it. Great suspense. Watch with friends. Don't watch alone because you sure will pray, but perhaps this is a good thing. Good stuff.
I'll pray that it's over."
The boyfriend was a great example for my little ones. I want them to be just like him when they get their own girly friends. Girly friends? Also, love the inclusion of the minority groups. Oh my gosh. Even got the Asian Cafe in there. Thank you so much. Changed my life. We'll watch the next 2 films. Thank you, Matt Mitchell. You changed my life. What the hell was that? Now featuring diverse people. 5
That's
stars
family
by
members.
Dale Bermiman. 5 stars. Excellent. That's it. Okay. And then
Sorry.
then my all-time favorite by Clay Naylor. A very good movie. Prey was such a great film to watch. As you can see, I've given this movie 5 out of 5 stars for many reasons. Since I've given this movie 5 stars, I believe I should have 5 reasons for this. 1, original. This movie was one of a kind. Nowadays, it's hard to find a movie that isn't a remake of other films. It was nice for once to watch a scary movie without knowing what was going to happen. 2, the message. Every good movie has a good message or story to it. In this case, Prey has a great story about a girl named Madison, a girl raised in a time where Hollywood decides what is pretty. The message, I did not get that, but the message is that weight doesn't define what is pretty. I thought this was a great... What? What movie did they watch? But number
Burger
three,
King.
Change.
Conversation in the cafe, so I mean
Okay,
they're not
okay.
far off.
Okay, so 3, Change. It was nice for once to actually watch a scary movie without being turned away with what Hollywood thinks is scary now. The director of this film goes back to the basic for what makes a scary movie. 4, Performance. The acting in this film was great. Madison and many of the other characters draw you into the story. Prey actually makes you care about the characters in the film. This was a big plus for me because there has been numerous films where characters are never established. And 5, fun and entertaining. This movie was a lot of fun to watch and will keep you on the edge of your seat. The end is bone-chilling, but leaves you with a powerful message that, and this is all in caps, God can overcome anything. If you watch this, you won't regret it. And finally, the last one. Finally, you okay there, Ron?
Oh man, these are golden. This has got to be
Last
tongue-in-cheek. I swear to God, these are hilarious.
Loved it. Fun, clean alternative to secular slasher flicks. This is an excellent film. I am a Christian educator, and I am so thrilled to have a heart-pumping Christian film to hold my teens' attentions. Plus, the film company provides a Bible study to go along with it. Oh, of course they do. Of course they do.
As you do.
Ladies and gentlemen. Okay, first of all, should I even point out that the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre wasn't that bloody, if at all? Are they forgetting that? But anyway, so finally, we're going to rate this thing. Starting with Del, we give the what do you rate it? And would you recommend others for watching for whatever reason, for good or ill? Del.
0 BioShock tattoos out of whatever we're viewing them on 10. No, I would not suggest this even to people I don't like, because then they would start bothering me about it. And I don't want to lose any friends that I have, and I don't want to gain any more enemies out of the not close friends or what. Yeah, no. Fuck this movie.
Okay.
That's what I have to say.
Pyle, did you even bother to desecrate a toilet roll?
So they made the movie, and let me just tell you, when you make a movie, you get a point. But that's as far as this point goes. So congratulations, you made it. You let people watch it. Now delete it. But you know what? I do have something else to add.
Was that what you were doing through? Oh my God. That is genius.
That's brutal. I love it.
Oh my gosh. And would you agree that maybe this is a movie that is in dire need of a poop monster? Just no explanation.
Dude, I don't want to desecrate the poop monster by putting the poop monster in this. I'm just saying,
okay.
Let him be judging it himself. And he's not okay with it.
Too much respect for the poop monster. I got you. So, okay.
This is
Jen,
rough.
Josh, what do we got?
I was supposed to give it more than 0? I don't want to watch it again. I don't want to tell people to watch it. I have told people to watch it before we watched it because I had to watch it anyway. Everybody gets to join in the misery. I put the link in the group. Thank you.
And Josh, what say you?
That movie sucked so bad it made my ass itch.
Wow.
Okay.
Pyle's got some toilet paper for you.
Wow. So, Ron, I know you already answered the question earlier, but I have a different question for you since you did.
Okay.
Would you say that this movie is better or worse than Mandy the Haunted Doll?
Ooh, good question. First off, I'm giving this movie 0 engine blocks. And I take back what I said earlier about not recommending it. I won't recommend it to friends and I won't recommend it to enemies, but I would recommend that the CIA use it for their interrogation tactics for suspected terrorists when they're trying to get information. I have a feeling it would be quite effective toward getting information out of people. Yeah. I would have to say, between Mandy and this movie, I'm going to have to give it to Mandy because at least I did give it a rating, and I can't give this one a rating because Mandy at least had violence and it had blood and a cohesive storyline and marginally less plot holes. So, yeah. I mean, that's a tough call, but at least Mandy was more in line with what an actual horror movie should be. So, okay, Mandy, you get a point.
Okay. Well, at least Mandy tried. But
Right.
as far as I go, this movie is terrible. It is terrible for all the wrong reasons and also all the right reasons. I find it far more entertaining simply because I understand the culture this is coming out of. Sometimes I rewatch it and I wonder how much this was clearly sponsored by an evangelical church. And I'm wondering how much church interference went into the script and the changes that they had to make. Because I've kind of been in that situation myself. As a movie itself, I'm along with Pyle, I'll give it 1 point out of 10 simply because they've actually made a movie that's a lot more than a lot of people can say. However, as a horror movie, this gets a -10.
We can do negatives.
I just did. Do we need to redo it now, or no? This is
No, we have a new standard, though.
This is a one-time special thing, I would say. So,
Oh, don't put that as a challenge.
So
We'll find
I'm pretty
another
sure
movie
in the future,
and it'll be
we'll
negative.
find, yeah. But keep in mind,
well-
I'm only. Well, I was just going to say that I only put the first movie in because, again, I reiterate, I'm not a monster. I'm not going to make everybody else watch the other 2 movies. That's why it's not those other 2. The 2 sequels to this movie are not in. Will never ever be in the wheel. So you are welcome.
Oh,
Ron.
My rating doesn't change for the movie overall. I'm still giving it a 0. But if we can do negatives, then I want to give the shape in this movie a negative because that's his kill count.
Now, Pyle, you were rubbing your hands
Yeah.
together. That makes me nervous.
He brought people to life.
so I just want to go ahead and I want to say this movie, number one, had so many plot holes in it. It had more plot holes than potholes in Michigan on I-75. But as I'm like just thinking about this movie more and more, I just can't wait for the next movie so we can say that this is negative on Prey. Because I don't see any movie being worse than this, but we're going to find something. I'm sure of it.
I believe we have found a new standard where in the future, as we go along, we can go, this was a bad movie, but at least it wasn't Prey.
Yeah, right.
So, are we ready to spin the
At least it
wheel?
wasn't Mandy. Okay, now it's at least it wasn't
Yeah.
Prey. I get it.
Yeah. We ready to spin the wheel then?
Sure. Let me
Let's
get that
put
up
this in
there.
our rearview mirror.
Okay. Jenny, you ready?
We'll be
Jenny,
in
are
2
you ready?
seconds.
Okay.
Seems a bit sluggish.
Now,
Boom.
Okay.
Come on.
It's on the line.
House of the Dead. Ah.
Yes. Not much of a reaction?
Is this the one based on that video game?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. The Uwe Boll
Okay.
classic.
He's had some hit or
So-
miss movies.
Okay.
I'm checking.
Anyway,
Oh, Stefan had a question before. Has anyone made a movie about Alfred Packer, the Columbine cannibal? I didn't put it up
The
because
Columbine
it didn't
cannibal?
really have much to do with. Yeah,
I've never heard of that.
I'm unfamiliar with. Yeah, so unfamiliar with that one. And also, would you say this movie prays? Yes, it does. I am probably gonna have very sanitized nightmares because of this, and it's gonna fuck with me.
Oh. If I may break in.
I have a House of the Dead Alien Zone on Tubi. Is a 1978 movie. Is that what you're talking about?
No.
No, I think this one
It
was
was,
more recent, Pyle.
In the aughts, I believe.
Okay.
It's based on a video game. It used to be in the arcade back in the 80s. If I may, what Stefan was asking about Alfred Packer, Trey Parker and Matt Stone did a movie called Cannibal the Musical, which was about Alfred Packer, and it took place in Colorado, and I think it was back in the settlement times, where they were frozen in, and they ended up having to eat each other. I'm wondering if that's what he's referring to. I could be completely off base here, but
Okay.
I think that's what he's talking about.
I've never heard of him referred to as the Columbine cannibal, though.
It's interesting,
So-
though.
Yeah. So, any final thoughts, people?
I pray I don't have to watch this movie again.
You've got to pray.
But-
You've got to pray. You don't have to watch it today. We pray.
I can't watch this. Do 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 do. Can't watch this. Do 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 do.
So I got a House of the Dead 2003.
That would probably be it.
Okay, that is not on Tubi.
Okay.
It is a
That's one.
YouTube or a Prime or Apple. So yeah.
So
Yeah.
not to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tubi.
It
You're
was
not
not
keeping
to
up
be.
with our trend here.
How dare you?
I know.
They want to keep
but you-
sponsored.
You know
Until
what?
next time. Yeah.
If we ever do need to make a different movie, remember that they'll be more than happy to make a remake.
Yep.
And maybe a better one at that.
One can only hope.
Get help, people.